help with my lesson planning, which to me seems like the most amazing use of this, because trust me, when you're teaching, it gets increasingly difficult to come up with new ideas of things you should be doing in class. So if you've got a very distinct plan, it will help you come up with an idea for that day. Right? You could make a chart. We already had, right, 2 more constraints. What's my person? What's the movement of my person? What size is the board? So you can make your task analysis as detailed as you want, or you can just concentrate on a couple of constraints. How many times do you get to see your PE kids? If you get to see them every day of the week, then your kicking unit could be 14 days, and you could look at lots of different constraints. What if you only get to see your kids once a week, or heaven forbid, once a fortnight? Right? Now my kicking unit consists of 2 days of kicking. Well, it would be a bit daft to try to cover 10 different constraints in 2 days. So what am I going to concentrate on? Right? You see what I mean? So as I say, I'm not a trained teacher in any respect. I'm not trained to be standing here talking to you. That's what they do to us. You know, you get a PhD and then they dump you in front of a group of people, and now we're supposed to teach what we know. So that takes a long time to get used to, all right? Yeah. But if you're actually a teacher and you know teaching theory and lesson planning, when you go and work with Dr. Berkey, she's going to make you write lesson plans. How do I progress my lesson plan? From a non-pedagogy perspective, this seems to me like it would be a very useful tool. Because I write my progressions ahead of time, and then my lesson plan is, okay, which progression am I going to add into the next lesson plan? I think that seems to me like a really good approach. I don't think Dr. Berkey will tell me I'm talking nonsense. She might, but I don't think so. All right? So, Chapter 18, as I said, is really trying to show you how you use all this information to be a more appropriate teacher. Can I be developmentally appropriate? Because the more developmentally appropriate you can practice being, and it takes practice, right? I guarantee you are going to have days where you set up the gym and everything goes wrong. It's a complete disaster. Something you thought was going to be the coolest thing, the kids hate. It's going to happen, right? That's just part of the job. You tweak and change, and over time it gets, you get such a repertoire that you can start to adjust it during the class, right? You'll be walking around and you're like, oh, that does not look like it's working. What can I do over here to change it a little bit? Right? You can't do that very well right at the beginning because it takes some practice. So the more developmentally appropriate you are in your teaching practices, the more success your students will have. And next week we're going to look at, why is that so important? Why is being successful, being competent, so important when we look at health situations, right? And obesity and, sorry? You can't say that. I take that back. Come on. So up on the blackboard is an article that is, one of the authors of your textbook is a co-author on the article, and it's looking at how do I use constraints theory within my gym. So it's a PE teacher article, it's very practical, it's really well written, it's very easy to read. Right? So make sure that you pull that out and you take a look at that article, because it will give you another approach at looking at this material. Question? All right, so please keep an eye on Blackboard, because I have a very big hole in my brain about, I know what I want to do next Tuesday, but I can't remember whether I loaded any of the information at the beginning, and I knew, because it's on the syllabus, that I wanted to do this, but I have absolutely no recollection whether I loaded any of the material for the lecture next Tuesday. So please make sure to keep an eye on Blackboard in case I'm frantically emailing you over the weekend or on Monday that you need to print something off and bring it with you. All right?